had that.
He openly campaigned on kickbacks and patronage.
Quebec was not a very pristine place politically.
Maurice Duplessis.
This is a great day for the people of the province of British Columbia. Am I just a tyrant and a Tory dictator? We stand or fall together.
Welcome. I'm Holly Doan. They called him the boss. Quebec Premier Maurice Duplessis gained power on the promise of good pensions and new roads. He kept power by running what his critics rated as one of the most ruthless political machines in the country. When he died, thousands mourned him as a friend. We present Maurice Duplessis of Quebec.
In 1948, Quebec Premier Maurice Duplessis opened a new bridge in Trois-Rivières. They called it the Duplessis Bridge. He said, "It's as solid as my government, the Union Nationale."
It is certainly a most memorable occasion that we are participating in today. A completely new bridge.
We had the Quebec bridges that kept falling down because they were built with what we called political cement. That is the cheapest ingredients you could put into a bridge went into a bridge, and the contract went to a friend of Duplessis, and eventually the bridge might collapse.
The bridge did collapse in 1951. All traffic on Quebec's busiest highway came to a standstill. Once the wreckage was cleared, Duplessis would rebuild the bridge, as before, by private contract at public expense. Asked if a contract had to be a Union Nationale supporter, he replied, "It won't do any harm."
There's something to be said for being a kind of likable rogue, you know, and to a degree that's what he was.
I thank you. I don't say adieu. I say au revoir. And let the next election celebrate the bridge by a big majority, a bigger majority than ever, for the will of the country and the will of the province. Mesdames et messieurs.
Politics. It was politics, politics, politics all over. He was a political beast, you know what I mean?
Duplessis spent more on roads and hospitals than any premier Quebec had seen. He became premier for life.
There were years of unexampled prosperity in the history of Quebec, and he hit every button with the Québécois. You know, he gave them sort of symbolic nationalism, like the flag.
If each of us are staying their own domain, not trespassing over one another, the country would be more prosperous and would have real national unity. Sound unity, the one we desire.
When campaigning, he liked to wear an old hat. "It's the first thing people notice," he told a reporter. "A good old hat lets you get close to the people." Duplessis told supporters, "I'm as poor as any of you." But he liked Cadillacs and bought a new one every year. He was a tireless campaigner. Duplessis said, "You don't win elections with prayers." Instead, he relied on patronage and kickbacks. His angriest critics noted Duplessis was born the same day as Adolf Hitler.
He was a one-man show. He was in total control. And politics was his vocation.
Unique among premiers, Duplessis increased his popular vote the longer he remained in office. His victories came amid protests of fraud.
Duplessis was able to hire some very tough muscle men who invaded Liberal committee rooms, beat people up, Others would break into polling stations and stuff ballots into the voting boxes, or steal the voting boxes. It was a rough and tumble game.
At Union Nationale rallies, Duplessis swept crowds off their feet. A journalist said he was part medieval lord and part Tammany Hall.
They went wild. Come on, Maurice.